Today I will be playing Bless Unleashed, a MMORPG developed by Round 8 Studios and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Well, I hope I said that right. This is actually a reboot of Bless Online, which was originally released in 2018. But due to heaps of problems with the game and a lack of players due to major issues with gameplay, the game was shut down a year after release. But it's back with a fresh upgrade and now available on Steam. I personally never played Bless Online, so I won't really know what to look for in terms of changes, but from what I've seen so far, the combat seems to be the biggest issues that players had with the game. I also don't usually play games like this. I'm more of a first-person shooter gamer, playing games like Destiny, Apex and Valorant, and other sort of games like that. However, I thought for a first game journal entry, I should try something new so I have fresh eyes and an unbiased opinions about the game. So let's start with the trailer.
An ancient seal is broken. Cries of despair fill the air. The lash of war has been unleashed, and an army of chaos rises. From mortals, the gods of dark and light seek their warriors. But they are rarely gentle with those whom they choose. Your journey will be fraught with danger. A trail of blood will follow in your wake. Many gods are watching you, and many wish to sway your path. Be wary, for you are the chosen champion of light, the one who walks at the end of the world, and who must hold the darkness at the door. May the power of the blessings be with you, always.
Well, like any trailer, it looks visually cool. First of all, big monsters that look intense to fight. Love it. Lots of explosions, spells that I have no idea how they work, but they look like they do lots of damage. Very nice. Plots of the game, well, I guess we're just warriors fighting for a good side, killing bad things. I mean, simple, but works for me. But the one thing that instantly got my attention, holy shit, it's got dragons. I want to fight me a dragon right now. Sign me up. At first glance, there is a lot to like. The battles feel intense, lots of awesome looking spells, and the monsters are intense to fight. The environment is beautiful and magical. Although not perfect, the combat is fun, especially when someone like me is just spamming buttons and seeing what happens. I imagine further into the game there will be ways of creating builds for different events or dungeons or even combat situations. I love how at the beginning of the game we're given endgame content for our selected character class. It means we get to try and experiment and see what endgame content really feels like. It felt great being able to throw these intense spells and seeing big damage numbers while also having no idea what I'm actually doing. But that kind of leads me into the cons in terms of what am I doing exactly? So a few things to bring up. Now just take note, I only played about 30 minutes or so of this game, but I felt from that first 30 minutes I got a good idea of what was going on. Kind of. So first of all, although fun, the combat did feel really clunky, especially when it came to the game, camera and perspective. Locking onto enemies helped, but sometimes made it even more difficult to stay focused on the one enemy when there's so much going on around you. Without the lock-on, changing your perspective to get a better view of your surroundings or of the enemy during combat just felt really slow and clunky. which is really unfortunate because the abilities and attacks are fun to use. I just wish I could enjoy it more. Maybe some more AoE abilities or something. Playing a mage, you would assume that there would be more abilities like that. Maybe in some of the other classes there might be. But for the mage that I was playing, it just didn't feel very fun. Secondly, the UI. Gonna be honest, it's not great. There is a lot going on here which is understandable for a game of this size, but everything was really small and hard to understand. And with the amount of things popping up on my screen like damage numbers, enemy names, it did become a bit overwhelming at times. It became really hard to focus on what was happening in combat, as well as all the other things happening around my screen. Thirdly would be the servers. Now this might partly be my fault. I do live in the country and my internet isn't amazing, but it is better than most out in the country. But due to the best server choice being Asia, it felt really laggy, making movement and combat not fluent, which overall is not a great feeling. Would definitely make it hard to play the game for long periods of time, which for MMORPGs is usually quite essential, or any game for that matter. You want the player to play the game lots and enjoy it. I just don't think I could with it being so framey, which is quite hard on the eyes to be completely honest. My last points are kinda nitpicky, but cutscenes, interactions and voice acting was kinda, well, terrible. Cutscenes had great concepts, but failed to immerse and interest me in what was happening, mostly by how choppy they were. This also leads into the voice acting, which had no emotion, and ruined the immersion with the characters. The voice actors just didn't seem experienced or not dedicated to the role. Anyway, I lost interest quickly in what they were saying. What the characters were saying was not linked to the actions either, which really got to me. It just feels really rushed and not polished. And for a game like this, it kinda needs to be. In conclusion, I didn't hate the game, but I didn't love it either. Bless Unleashed overall, in my opinion, is a great concept, but a rushed and unpolished final product, which is really disappointing as it has a lot of potential to be a great game. I think fans of the MMORPG genre might not agree with me and enjoy the game, which is great. I'd love to see this game succeeding. But for the game to reach that point, I believe it will take a lot of modifying and refining. The developers don't need to necessarily add anything, they just need to fix the foundations first. I hope this game doesn't flop like its predecessor Bless Online. That would be very disappointing.